Hey everybody, SlayerHolfen here, back with a EGL Season 8 Week 4 match against Link and the Honolulu Allstars. Now Link has a threatening squad. He's got Mega Gyarados, Latias, Alolan Ninetales, Nidoqueen, Shaman, Alolan Sandslash, Rotom Fan, Terrakion, uh, Salazzle, Araquanid, and Licky Licky. So threatening squad, Hail, Core, and then Mega Gyarados is really scary, as well as just like, Latias and Terrakion and Salazzle are really fast. Threatening Mons, and then stuff like Licky Licky and Araquanid and even Rotom Fan can be kind of annoying. Yeah. So I built a team for this, and I actually built a team around Dry Skin, Toxicroak, but then in a playtest realized that because of Mold Breaker on Gyarados, Dry Skin actually doesn't really do that much for Toxicroak. So I had to kind of go back to the drawing board and rethink things a little bit more. So anyway, first up we got my dedicated lead Greninja. Now Link has led his Hazard Setter every single match so far. Nidoqueen and Terrakion, it seems like he likes to lead with his rocker, so this Greninja, Focus Sash set, Surf, Water Shuriken, Dark Pulse, Taunt. It's just meant to kind of take out that Hazard Setter right away. It outspeeds them. It can taunt. If they're Scarfed, then I have my Focus Sash to hold on and it puts me in Torrent for later in the game. And, Scarf is the only way that those two Pokemon, Terrakion and Nidoqueen, can outspeed me. And Surf should be able to take them out. I think like Nidoqueen would be his most likely hazard setter, so if this leads off against Nidoqueen, I taunt, and then I can Surf 2 times, or I can Surf and Water Shuriken if, I don't know, I guess it kind of depends, but like if I taunt, then I can Surf, I guess. Yeah, it just matches up well, though, against those two Pokemon. And it also has Taunt for Mega Gyarados in case I get into a situation where I'm up against that thing. Dark Pulse is nice for the Latias, and if it's like a Calm Mind Latias, then I can Dark Pulse, and if he Calm Minds, I can Taunt before he recovers, and then I can Dark Pulse and kill him with 2 more Dark Pulses, and if my Sash is intact, then I definitely get off 2 attacks. And if not, then maybe I live an attack, I know, we'll see. But anyway, that's Greninja. Next up is Latios. Latios has just an insane matchup against him because I have Mega Scizor and Arcanine, which means that his Hail can't really come. Like even Mega Scizor alone or Arcanine alone can kind of stop his Hail core if like it's built correctly. And those two are his only 2 Dragon resists, so like I'm pretty free to just click Dragon move against a lot of stuff, in theory at least. Because of the droughts, that's not actually how it works out, but it's like free damage against a lot of stuff. And then if you look at his Psychic resists, Sandslash, Alola, and Mega Gyarados, and Latias. And so I don't think Sandslash is coming. Latias, I'm not sure he makes that play of switching a Latias in on a Latios. That seems pretty risky. And Mega Gyarados doesn't actually resist Psychic until it Mega Evolves. So Psychic is pretty spammable against his team, and I got the Z Psychic just to get a big hit off on something. This has got speed to speed tie the Latias in case I get into that situation. And yeah, this outspeeds his Terrakion, and Psychic actually can take out Salazzle. It can't kill us with a Dragon Pulse unless it's a boosting item or unless we're pretty weakened. So yeah, that's that set. Anything else? Oh, Roar. Defog is just in case he brings webs and manages to get those up, and Roar is to phase out Gyarados so that, because like if I am put in a spot where I kill Latias with a Draco Meteor and then he just brings in Gyarados, like I can't hit him with Psychic, and like I'm going to be at -2 already, so I'd rather Roar him out and just prevent him from setting up, because my next Pokemon is Scarf Thundurus, so I can beat him at +1, but if he gets to +2, then that's not going to be good for us. So anyway, Stormbreaker, our Thundurus Therian, Choice Scarf, Volt Switch, T-Bolt, HP Flying and Thunder Wave. So we're Modest Nature because we can actually outspeed Gyarados with Modest, and like if you look at his speed tiers, um, I think that Shaman is the only thing we're kind of missing here at 100, but if Shaman comes, I think it's probably more of a defensive set to kind of switch in on this thing, because it's a better answer to Thundurus than Nidoqueen is probably. Um, yeah, so we outspeed Mega Gyarados. I could have put this speed up to like 299 to outspeed potential Choice Scarf Rotom Fan, but there's no real reason to. Rotom Fan like doesn't really win against me. I resist his, I guess Air Slash, he could like flinch me down, but that thing doesn't have Serene Grace, so I know, why do that? Thunder Wave, so Volt Switch obviously for momentum. If I can, Nidoqueen's is only resist, so I could switch around if that thing's gone. And I'm trying to like catch it with the Greninja early, so if we can get rid of Nidoqueen early, that'd be awesome. HP Flying obviously does more than HP Ice to Shaman, which is like probably his best switch in. And it just does more to like everything except Nidoqueen, which I don't really like Nidoqueen with this mon anyhow. So yeah, HP Flying, because it's Stab, does more to Shaman. I think it's a 2-hit KO on like an offensive Shaman, and probably does, I think it's like a 3-hit KO on a especially defensive Shaman. I know, I could check that, but just a nice option. Yeah, also his, I was going to say his Araquanid, but I guess I guess T-Bolt does pretty good against that thing. So anyway, Thunder Wave. I went back and forth between Thunder Wave, Dark Pulse, and Discharge for this move. I decided against Dark Pulse because Latias eats Dark Pulses if it's invested properly for my Scarf Thundurus, so that's not really the best option. And it's between Discharge and Thunder Wave then. Just this is kind of like in a situation where the Gyarados has gone down and the Latias is around, I can T-Wave that. And then even if it's like a Calm Mind variant, Scizor can outspeed it and get a U-turn off and just do huge damage to it. So I ended up going with Thunder Wave just because like the entire point of the last move is to paralyze. So why not get the 90% chance of paralysis rather than the 30? Anyway, next up we got Mega Scizor. Bullet Punch, Knockoff, U-turn, Roost. This thing is very specially defensive and it's got some defense. It shuts down his Hail just in case he wants to bring it. It deals with... I originally had Brick Break, which was nice for like Sand/Alola, but this actually does pretty well. Bullet Punch is neutral against Sand/Alola and just destroys Alolan and Ninetales. U-turn and Knockoff are both good options for Latias. And I don't know, U-turn is just very strong. I don't know, it's just good. U-turn can hit Mega Gyarados. This special defense means that if he's going to pack like the Fire Blast on Gyarados, depending on what range I'm at, I can actually live a Fire Blast and get big damage off if he's Mega Gyarados. Bullet Punch always is obviously just always really good to have. And yeah, Roost for a little bit of longevity. Bullet Punch is really nice against like the Tracheon. It does like, if it's an offensive Tracheon, it does like over 50%. So if I get any chip on that, then Bullet Punch can just clean it up. So yeah, I know. Mega Scizor is just very, it's a very nice like bulky Pokemon that comes in and takes a hit and can U-turn out and get really good momentum. And it's really hard to like not bring Mega Scizor because Bullet Punch is just such good priority in the back against a lot of threats too. It just seems like it's so easy to just throw Mega Scizor on a team every single week. So next up we have Toxicroak. Now Mold Breaker means that Gyarados, we can't just like sit in front of that thing. However, we do outspeed Mega Gyarados prior to a Dragon Dance. And this also gives me like a good answer to Araquanid and to Terrakion. Dry Skin does let me check Araquanid as well as I resist Leech Life. I can T-Punch that thing, I can Drain Punch a Terrakion, and live like one Earthquake. He needs like to Sword Stance as Lego Toxicroak and fire off a Z Earthquake to hit me. Or I guess he could have Zen Headbutt, but I'm not sure. Um, I'm not sure that you expect a Toxicroak to check a Terrakion and brings it Headbutt expecting the Shucka Berry. Like, that's a pretty niche case, so I think I'm willing to like risk that, I guess. Um, Drain Punch is nice against Terrakion and Mega Gyarados. Ice Punch covers like almost all of his. Oh, it's also good against Sandslash or Alola if that comes. Um, his fighting resists are Latias, Nidoqueen, Shaman, Rotom Fan, Salazzle, and Araquanid. So all of those are weak to ice coverage except for Salazzle and Araquanid. And Araquanid I can hit with T-Punch and I wall, and Salazzle I can, I don't know, go out to something else. But Salazzle's pretty frail, and if it's going to like want to switch in on an attack against this thing, then that's fine with me. Yep, so then finally we have Mesprit, Rocks, Psychic, T-Wave, Thunderbolt. He needs to run, like I'm not sure if he speed creeps my Mesprit with his Gyarados, so I could potentially surprise that thing with a Thunder Wave. This also gets a Thunder Wave off on Latias to this, and Thunderous Therian can T-Wave the Latias to make it easy for Scizor to deal with. Rocks, obviously nice to get chip on his Pokemon, especially like Gyarados coming in. Gyarados being at 75 rather than at 100 is pretty big. Thunderbolt, just for a situation where like if Gyarados is in and I want to scout for sub, I can T-Pult and then T-Wave. The Cobra Berry lets me live one hit. So yeah, like, yeah, this is like, try not to let Gyarados get to +2 and sweep my team, and the Cobra Berry lets me take a hit and hopefully do that. So that's the team. Oh, speed for 277 is outspeeding max speed Life Orb Nidoqueen. That's the other thing. Nidoqueen can be pretty annoying, so I got the Psychic to do big damage against it and outspeed it. I think I can live one hit with Mesprit. Yeah, and I outspeed Nidoqueen with like the entire team except for Scizor. So that is that. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and get on into the game now. Okay, so he brings Mega Gyarados, Salazzle, Rotom Fan, Nidoqueen, Licky, and Shaman. So the things I'm thinking when I'm looking at this team are one, no Latias, and no Hail, which means that Latios looks really good against his team. Psychic is like just come in and click Psychic and skin something like a Nidoqueen is awesome. I'm also thinking Licky. I got bodied by a Licky in the PBL if you follow that. And so that's really annoying. I'm thinking like, okay, I want to get rid of that Licky. Like that might be a good move to fire my Mon to fire my Z move off against, just to make sure it dies. No Terrakion means that Toxicroak is a little bit freed up to just kind of come in and click buttons and can be like a good sack or a good like early game Pokemon to come in and just do some stuff. The Nidoqueen comes, so I'm thinking that that's a chance at a lead. Greninja just looks like a good lead against him. Yeah, let's see what else. Nidoqueen and Shaman are the two Thunderbolt checks. But I can Volt Switch out on everything if I get rid of the Nidoqueen. So if we can get rid of the Nidoqueen, that would be awesome. Anyway, gonna go ahead and jump on into this. So I lead my Greninja as he leads Shaman. Now, Shaman, obviously not a hazard setter. I don't have Ice Beam or anything, and I don't know, I'd rather keep my Focus Sash intact, so I'm just gonna think about, okay, is he gonna make the prediction and go HP Fire, but even before my Mega Evolution gets off, I can live that, unless he's like, maybe Specs would take me out, I don't know, I could look, but I don't think that's very likely, and he has to make that prediction to turn 1, so I'm going to go Scizor. I thought that there's a chance that he might be like Scarf Shaman and try to take me by surprise, expecting me to like, oh, this is a free U-turn, and then just bot me with a grass move. So he goes Leech Seed. So I'm going to take this opportunity to get off my Mega and U-turn out. Um, the an HP Fire doesn't take me out from there, and again, unless he's like really offensive. Maybe Life Orb could with a little chip damage, but given that he showed Leech Seed, I don't think that this is going to be a very like offensive Shaman. So we U-turn out, Slazzle comes in, we get a little chip. I'm going to go out to Mesprit here. Now, I thought about getting up my rocks, but I decided to just go for a Psychic. Psychic is pretty free against this team, and if he goes something like Nidoqueen and is like Sash Nidoqueen, that I want to punish that. Like if he thinks this is a good time to get off his rock, like come in on my rocks, be able to eat a hit with his Focus Sash, and then get up his rocks. I don't want to let him do that. So fire off the Psychic. Now I'm going to get up my rocks. Shaman's just going to go for a Leech Seed. And since I shown Mega Scizor as my initial switch in, I'm going to actually go out to Latios here, scouting for the HP Fire, as he goes for a Leech Seed. So he's just firing off Leech Seeds left and right. As now I'm going to go out to Scizor, as he reveals the Dazzling Gleam. So definitely good information. Don't take very much from that. He's going to go for another Leech Seed. So I'm going to U-turn out, pop his Tanga Berry. So cool little tech by Link there. As now we avoid giving him more health with the Leech Seed. So go out to Latios and go right back out into Scizor. As a Leech Seed misses, so unfortunate for him. Kind of comes into play later. So I'm going to U-turn out. He goes Licky Licky. And this thing's at 68. I'm going to go out to Latios and just fire off my Z move here because no Psychic switch-ins or Z Psychic switch-ins. Depending on his set, this is a roll, I think. From the way he took the damage, or took the U-turn damage from Mega Scizor, he has to be max HP and a lot of defense. And so let me just run the calc really quick. Licky. I think it's like 70 min. Let's see. Z. Yeah, this does 70% min, so 70 to 82. So that's a pretty good roll in my favor, and even if I miss it, I can just fire off a normal Psychic next time. I guess Wish Protect actually could be bad, but I can, if he wishes, I can double out into Toxicroak, which is doing like a good chunk to this thing, and start to whittle it down. Basically just make him like Wish Protect against me the entire time as I click Drain Punch for free. So anyway, gonna fire off the Z move, and we do get the roll, we do take him out. So that's awesome. That's a huge threat down. Licky Licky, just being able to like paralyze stuff on my team is so annoying and could like really kind of ruin my game plan. So glad to get rid of that thing right after that. As now he brings out Shaman, I'm just gonna fire off the Roar here as he clicks Leech Seed. All he's been doing is going for Leech Seed, and so I think there's like a pretty good chance that he just goes for that again. It's a pretty like good mid-ground play for him. And I want to keep the Shaman low because that thing's kind of annoying. I'm having to pivot around it a lot, and he just gets to fire off Leech Seed and weaken my team. So I figure if I can like get the Leech Seed, or predict his Leech Seed, roar him out, then he comes back in and I can maybe take him out with an attack. So we get into Nidoqueen, so now I'm just going to fire off a Psychic here, as it reveals leftover, so we know it's not Scarf. So Psychic looks pretty free here, brings in the Shaman, it takes the rock damage, takes the Psychic damage, 26, and I look, and 26 is like a min roll against this thing if it's max HP, max Spadef, so going to be able to take it out with 2. Now that's where the missed Leech Seed against the Scizor comes into play. However, how many times does he click Leech Seed there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 5 of them mattered. So like in order for him to hit all 5, that's, I think Leech Seed is 85%, so 85 to the power of 5. So that's like a 44% chance that he hits them all. So like it's actually kind of in my favor that he eventually misses one of those. So it's unfortunate, but I wouldn't say it's like super hacksy, and I think that Psychic was potentially like still a roll to be a 2-hit KO. I'm not positive, but like it's a little bit of hacks and it's unfortunate, but I think that also like eventually he should miss a Leech Seed, and I'd feel worse if his like he fired off one and missed it versus him firing off like 5 or 6 and finally missing one. So anyway, he goes out Salazzle now, and the Leech Seed, I guess he missed it against the Scizor, so not against the Latios, but at this range he has to be a boosting item to take me out with a Dragon Pulse, and I don't want to let him set up a nasty plot here, so just going to fire off a Psychic. As he goes for a Dragon Pulse, we live that and take out the Salazzle. So that's really nice. As he's going to go out to Gyarados now, I don't want to let this thing sit up, so I'm just going to Roar. I was talking with a friend after the match, and he goes for Taunt, so he gets me, and I go down to Leech Seed. I think probably the slightly better play here was to click Draco. I was afraid that the Leech Seed damage like wouldn't take me out, and I'd be left on like literally 1, and he could Dragon Dance up. But like if he Dragon Dances up there, I can Roar on the second. So like okay, so if I click Draco there, I hit him with Draco, and he Dragon Dances, then he's at +1, and I live on 1. So then like I give him the opportunity to set up a second Dragon Dance, but I can just click Roar there and like roar him out and prevent him from getting to +2. So I missed out on getting a little bit of chip damage there potentially. So not like, I don't know, very like minor misplay, but I think it maybe is a misplay. So just worth mentioning. As I thought a long time here about what to do, and I could go out to Mega Scizor and get off a U-turn and just get off a ton of damage. But if he has Fire Blast, it can't take me out at the range I'm at, but a crit could take me out. I don't really want to, I know, do that. I don't really want to like mess around with a crit. So I'm just gonna go out to Thundurus. He can go out to Nidoqueen here, but I don't know, that's fine. Like then Gyarados comes in and takes even more chip damage and like just puts me in a better spot to, like I know, that's fine. Like I just don't want Gyarados to be setting up, and like him switching out and then coming in and taking more chip damage is fine with me. So just going to fire off a nice, safe T-Bolt here as he goes Nidoqueen. Now, this is a good chance for him to get up his rot, so I'm just going to go hard into Greninja. If he fires off an attack, we know he's not Scarf, so if he fires off an attack and gets me down to Sash, then great, I have Torrent boosted attacks. As now I'm just going to go for the Surf. He takes a chunk from that. Sludge Wave does a decent amount to me. As now I'm just firing off Surfs here. He lets it go down. I think maybe if he had saved the Nidoqueen, he could have played like some mind games with Gyarados, and like I don't know. I think like maybe if he had gotten up rocks and then just gone right out to Gyarados there, maybe that was a better play. He could kind of play around with some stuff of so like he goes, I go Greninja on his rocks. I click Surf as he goes Gyarados, so I have to click Taunt and he can attack me. But like he ends up killing Greninja. He's pretty weak then, and I go Thundurus, but then I guess at that point I could go Toxicroak to scare out the Mega Gyarados, and after the damage he might be like, and then if he has to switch out, he might be pretty close to being in range of an HP Flying rather than a T-Bolt, so I don't know. I think maybe he could have preserved Nidoqueen there and tried to at least lower differential or like whatnot, but I don't know. It's 5-3 right now. He's not like in a great spot anyhow, so I don't know, his options are kind of limited. And like he's got a chance to set up a Dragon Dance here and potentially start going to work. But I reveal the taunt, not going to let him set up. As I'm just going to get off some damage here. We're actually going to live the crunch because it is resisted, so get off another Surf. That is Torrent boosted, so it does a little bit more as he takes me out, but now Thundurus just looks good because it kills Gyarados and Rotom Fan can't do anything to us, and we should be able to 2-hit KO that thing. So just going to bring it in, click T-Bolt. He brings in the Rotom Fan, Slayer's #1 fan, which is funny, and we're just going to be able to take this thing out with T-Bolts. Dark Pulse, and T-Bolt, and that's game. So good game to Link. I definitely prepped really hard for the Mega Gyarados. I don't think I think like he played the game pretty well. He maybe could have made a few predictions, but they'd be like kind of aggressive predictions, like maybe protecting with his Licky Licky, or like I said, like saving the Nidoqueen for later. But um, I don't know, his matchup was just so bad. Like not just in this game, but like team to team. Like the Hail portion of his team didn't really do much. Latios versus Latias, like I think Latios is probably better there because it applies a lot more pressure. Um, he had a really hard time dealing with Mega Scizor, which like checked Mega Gyarados decently well. I guess it can get flinched by a Waterfall, or he can bring Fire Blast, but you can kind of build for that. Um, yeah, I know he just had a really really tough matchup, um, and so yeah, I'm not really sure how much he could have done to. Um, I know, like I guess what I'm trying to say is like I think he prepped well, and I think he played pretty well, but his matchup is just terrible, and like I think if I like prepared correctly, then there's a very good chance that like I win this game. So I think that he prepped well and he played well, but he just had a bad matchup and um, yeah. So anyway, good game to Link though. Always fun to play Link. He, I think this is like I'm not sure how long he's been playing now. I think this is like a year and a half now that he's been playing in leagues, and he's gotten a lot better. Like PBL season 2 when he first played, um, he had a hot start, but then he um, like dropped a bunch of games. But recently he's been playing really well, and he's 1-3 in EGL. But like EGL is such a tough league that that's not really a good representation of like I don't know. It like his win is against Mora, and he like 6-0'd Mora, so like that's a really strong win, obviously. And his losses have been to me and Alex and someone else, Sky, maybe. I think Sky. Um, is that right? Sky? Yeah, I think it's a Sky. So like those are like three really good players. So I know he's 1-3, but like he's a lot better than 1-3 would suggest. And really good to play him, and really good friend. And yeah, enjoyed the match. And hopefully we can play him again. I guess he's not in PBL. I think he is in UPL though, or UPA, which is a new league we'll be starting up. So hopefully we can have a match there, and a match where the team matchup is a little bit more even, and we can get a good game with him. So anyway, gonna sign off now. Next week we'll be taking on just some dude who I don't really know a ton about. He this is his first season in EGL, so not super familiar with him, but he's been playing pretty well so far. I think he is 2-2 or 1-3. He started out with a win. Let me check really quick. He's in our division though, so it'll be our last of the like first round of division games. We played Prof and Ben so far, and so this will kind of round out those three like early season division games. Let's see, where are you? There's some dude 2-1. Oh, so he hasn't played his week 4 match. So yeah, 2-1. So definitely he's been playing well, and be nice to get a win against the divisional opponent. So we'll see if we can do that. But I'm gonna sign off now. I've probably talked way too long. So hope you enjoyed the video, and come back next week. Bye.